Hi, welcome to ParrotandWolf. Today we're going to look at words and phrases in English that we can use to talk about football at an intermediate and advanced level. The advanced listening exercise contains all the key information and arguments you need to discuss football at a native level, so good luck. Okay, so let's look at the first text for intermediate speakers. Football is probably the most popular sport in the world and enjoyed by millions of people every day. It's the national sport in England, as it is in most countries, and it appeals to many different demographics of the population, which is probably why it's so popular. The game itself is a simple one. Two teams of 11 players compete against each other for 90 minutes on a rectangular grass pitch, and the team that scores the most goals wins the match. Players score goals by kicking or heading the ball into the opposition's goal area at each end of the pitch without touching the ball with their hands. Only one player on the team is allowed to touch the ball with their hands, and that's the goalkeeper, although they're only allowed to do this inside an area called the 18-yard box, which is directly in front of their own goal. The game is officiated by a referee who makes sure it's played fairly and correctly according to the rules. The ball can be passed in any direction from player to player, and any player can shoot or cross from any part of the pitch. That being said, most goals are scored from within the 18-yard box with a well-timed strike, a piece of individual skill, or a lucky deflection. If the ball goes off the pitch at any time, the game stops and restarts with either a throw-in, a corner, or a goal kick, depending on which team last kicked the ball. In order to take control of the ball from the opposing team, a player can attempt to tackle an opposing player. This must be done legally without too much physical contact, or else it's a foul and the fouled player gets a free kick. If the foul is serious, the referee will show the offending player a yellow card, which serves as a warning. Any further offences committed by that player will warrant a second yellow, and the offending player will be sent off the field. They can take no further part in the game. Likewise, a dangerous foul can get a red card issued, sometimes called a straight red, which means immediate dismissal of the player with no warning. There are many attacking and defending strategies in football that teams use to break down the opposition and score. One of the most important is counter-attacking football, which is based on speed and surprise by catching the team on the break after a successful defence. Another strategy not used so much these days is called the long ball, which would involve kicking the ball high up the pitch from defence into the 18-yard box in the hope that an attacking forward could get on the end of it and find the back of the net. It's a bit of a lottery though, so a quick close passing game is favoured by the majority of successful clubs. There are loads of famous football clubs in England, and they play each other in a number of domestic competitions, the most important being the Premier League. This league is the top tier of the English game and showcases the greatest footballing talent from across the world, with many international players being global stars. This makes the game even more appealing for the fans that support their chosen team vehemently, especially at home games where the noise from the crowd inside the stadium can be deafening. In the end, football creates an awe-inspiring spectacle embodying the thrill and passion of competitive sport, which is why successive generations continually fall in love with the beautiful game. Okay, so that's the intermediate text. Now let's look at the advanced text. It's a funny old game. 1 minute you're all smiles up 3-1 with one hand on the trophy, the next minute you're down 4-3 having squandered a 2-goal lead and you're getting hammered. We didn't get many chances in the first half, but when we did get time on the ball, we looked dangerous, especially in the penalty area. Their keeper had a blinder, pulling off a couple of fingertip saves, denying a great effort with his leg and pushing a header over the bar, but we still came away with 3 goals. We let one in down the other end, but they typically lack individual quality in the final third, and there's no creativity or invention in midfield, so we weren't worried at that point. Besides, the flag was up on the far side, but the ref didn't see it, and he awarded the goal anyway. Sometimes you need a bit of luck and the decisions to go your way, but it went against us today. Unfortunately, it seemed to galvanise them as they looked defeated before that, but it gave them a much needed boost and the platform to go on. They still had a mountain to climb to get back in it, of course, but conceding a goal just before half-time didn't do our morale any favours, and it wrecked the clean sheet. Second half they meant business. We gave them too much space and they started knocking it around in the middle of the park with consummate ease, which gave them confidence and the fans got behind them. They started whipping in crosses left and right, trying to pick someone out, firing shots in from 20 yards, hoping someone gets a touch on it or can flick it over the line, and then bam! Before you know it, it's in the back of the net and they've got a second one. The third was a sitter. We went to sleep at the back, the striker bends his run perfectly to get in behind the defence as a long ball comes over, keeper makes a mess of it, and it's in off the post. Still, it was a sweetly struck shot. At that point, a draw was looking likely, which wouldn't have been a total loss because we'd still have an unbeaten record and be 10 points clear at the top of the table, but it wasn't to be. After the equaliser, we tried to be calm and confident and managed to hold it together for the next 10 minutes, but then the nerves crept in as they ramped up the pressure and it all got a bit edgy. They had a strong desire to get on the ball, a real willingness to go forward, and the front three dazzled in possession, which frustrated us, and then of course the tackles started to fly in. One of the challenges was two-footed apparently, which led to the sending off, but I didn't see it, so I need to check the replay to be sure. I wouldn't be surprised if the refs got that one wrong too. The fourth one, he's through on goal, onside, great finish. It was all academic after that. The boys put their bodies on the line, but we just couldn't come back and they secured the win. You get the feeling we should have got more from the game, but professional football's like that. It's a game of two halves. Yeah, sure, we had some bad decisions go against us, but the margins are small at this level, and we just have to make sure we bounce back for next week's game against United. These short excerpts are of course just the tip of the iceberg, as there's a lot of language you can use to discuss football. However, the language in this introduction should give you an excellent head start, especially when speaking. To find out more about learning English for Cambridge and IELTS exams, business and work, or general conversation, visit ParrotandWolf.com.